I used an illustration at the first part where Paul waited for them at Athens and his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. When I lived out at Shelby Forest, the electricity would go out there for just a little bit of nothing. I mean, that's Roy leaving me a message. But anyway, electricity would go out. Just the wind blow. And man, when electricity went out, you couldn't see anything. I mean, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And so we would put candles and storm lanterns and flashlights around different parts of the house. In a typical night, you know, that the electricity might go out. Susan might be in the kitchen washing the dinner dishes, you know, and Sean would have been on the phone talking to a girl, and you know, he was in junior high school, and Luke would have been watching TV, and Sarah would have been playing with the Barbies, and I was in seminary then, so I would have been upstairs in my office studying, and all of a sudden, boom, the electricity go off. And everybody would stop right where they were, and Susan would say, Ronnie, Ronnie, turn on the light. See, as a daddy, it was my job to turn on the light. And I would light a candle or turn on a flashlight or light a lantern, and wherever I was, that glow would kind of make it around the walls and through the doorways, and everybody would come to the light. And when I turned on the light, everybody came to it. And as a daddy, it's my job to turn on the light. As a Christian, it's our job to turn on the light. You're the light of the world. A city that's set on a hill. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but they put it in a lampstand that it might give light to all that are in the house. And whenever I was living out there, it was my job to cut the grass. And sometimes I'd get on the tractor to cut the grass. I had quite a bit of grass to cut. And I'd get home from seminary and I'd be doing something or be out on the street, and I'd come home, I'd say, Susan, I'm going to cut the grass. She'd say, well, you don't have time, it's going to get dark. And I said, oh, I got plenty of time. And I'd get on that tractor and I'd be watching, you know, and cutting grass. We had a lot of copperhead, so I was always watching for an opportunity to run over a copperhead. That's scriptural there. And so anyway, I'd be riding that tractor, and all of a sudden I'd raise up and look, and it was dark. And I'd say, God, how did it get dark so quick? It was just light a few minutes ago. And in America today, we look and we say, God, how did it get so dark so fast? It was just light not long ago. And boy, it sure is dark in America today. And I think about the abortion problem, and it's so dark, and I say, God, would you turn on the light? You know, I think about all the people dying and going to hell, and it's so dark, and I say, God, would you turn on the light? I think about the child abuse, and the guy that went into a nursing home yesterday and shot a bunch of old people dead that he didn't even know. And I said, God, would you turn on the light? And one time I said that, and God spoke to my heart and said, shut up. I said, I've already turned it on. I've turned it on in you, and you, and you, and you, and you. And see, it's our job to turn on the light. He's already turned it on, and it's our job to let it shine. Amen? And so anyway, we used to sing the song, This Little Light of Mine, I'm going to let it shine. And we've forgotten that song. We let worldly stuff, the bushel basket, you know, put our light out. We let the devil blow it out. And we aren't shining our light the way we used to. We aren't shining our light the way we ought to. And somebody would say, well, it's, you know, I don't have a very bright light to shine. My light's not very bright. All I've got's a little old bitty candle light. And I remember when I was little, we used to go fishing on Little River down in Louisiana. And we'd be out there tight lining for catfishing way down the river. In the bend of the river, somebody would light a cigarette. And they'd light that light, and they'd blow that match out or let that lighter go out. And you'd look down there for a long time, you'd still see that light. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I mean, you could still see it. It was imprinted on your eye for a long time. And it don't matter that our light's not very bright. It's so dark in our world today that if we'll just turn our little light on, people will see it. And when we turn the light on, folks will come to it. Amen? Amen. So in the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. That's why we sing it. Amen. That's better, isn't it?
Yes, sir.